Hey guys, I just wanted to give you all a quick friendly reminder on liking on all of my videos and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Not only will these two things help the channel and us as a community grow over time, but it also shows me that you, the viewer, lucky enough to discover me, appreciate the time, hard work, and effort I put into making these amazing videos. Now with those two things out of the way, enjoy the rest of the video. Hey, what's up guys, I'm back on Mars, and today I'm going to be doing a video basically talking about the 2 weeks lifespan of Jump Force, alright? Now, I know this game is not completely dead, but like, in 2 weeks, most of the people that have been playing this game are dissatisfied, like myself and my friends that play with me, or most of my friends, not Ty. Ty enjoys the BS. It only took 2 weeks for this game to fall apart. And I'm going to be talking about every single step of why this game fell apart and why this game did not live up to the hype for most people. Again, not speaking for all people, most people did not live up to the hype, including myself. So we're gonna talk about my experience with Jump Force and how I might be a bit biased on Jump Force, okay? So in the summer of 2018, this is like the end of 9th grade for me. Basically, what happened was Jump Force was released at E3, and my friend Trent told me that this game was released at E3. There was a trailer for it and everything. The trailer was amazing. I'm going to probably put the trailer up on the screen so you guys can see the trailer. I thought the trailer was gorgeous. I thought the trailer was amazing. I thought it was a very interesting concept for a game that had not been done for a very long time. 2014 with J-Stars, so this was another Jump crossover game. So the possibilities for this game were endless. The amount of characters they could add, they could have a huge roster, a bunch of mini games. It could be a very fun game. Or that's what I originally thought. You see, Bandai, I don't even think it's Bandai, because Bandai knows how to market a game properly with fighters, at least, and they didn't mess that game up. They had bad networking issues, but Fighters is okay. Fighters is at Evo. Fighters was at Evo and will be at the next Evo, and Fighters is a pretty good game. I don't have any real issues with that game other than the learning curve it may give to me when I'm fighting other people online. Jump Force is a whole nother story, alright? They hyped this game up to all living hell. Like, when it first came out, they were like, play as your favorite Shonen Jump character in Jump Force. And when Bandai said this, and when the director for the game was asked about the roster, he said, "Oh, don't worry. We're gonna put so many characters in, and we're going to save the best for last." That's what they would always say when they released a character that I feel like people just did not ask for. Okay, and the reason I'm already bringing up the roster is because of the fact that the roster played a key point in why this game fell apart. All right. First of all, this game was not marketed properly. This game was completely marketed on the hype alone. They did not do anything really to market this game. I have not heard about any real marketing. Jump Force was shown at Jump Festa and everything, but I'm gonna get into that like further down the line. Okay, so it wasn't like Xenoverse where you get those annual commercials on your TV or anything. I just feel like they did not market this game properly, and that's because I feel like they didn't care enough about this game as they should have. What I'm going to talk about secondary is the Bandai tweets. Bandai had, they really dug themselves a grave just with their tweets alone. Every single Bandai tweet, every single character reveal, they were like, oh, this character's going to be in. Then they're like, oh, people asked for characters to be in the game because they hyped up, the whole thing about Jump Force was its roster. The key point was going to be the roster. They hyped it up with themselves that they were going to have this big roster that everyone was going to love, right? Except for the characters that weren't weekly shown in Jump. So this game comes out, everyone starts asking for characters. Bandai releases some characters. that people already had asked for, right? That were probably already going to be in the game. The people were steadily asking for characters. And this leads me to my third point. The roster failed. Like, this probably is going to be the biggest point of the video. The roster failed. The reason we're going to go so deep into this is because of the fact that they hyped up the roster to be like, they pretty much sold this game. They wanted to sell this game on its roster alone, and they couldn't even do that. Bandai tweets and the roster kind of go hand in hand. A week or two before Jump Force released, I think it was a week before Jump Force released, Jotaro and Dio, the last Jump Force characters, were announced to be in the game like a week before release. Now, I don't know why they did this. People were like, oh, basically there were rumors out that there were going to be more characters revealed other than Jotaro and Dio, and Bandai replied to a tweet. This was so unprofessional. They replied to a tweet of a guy being like, oh, still more characters to come, right? And then Bandai's like, nope, the roster's done. Have fun, guys. And then everyone just starts replying to this tweet being like, what? The roster's finished. There was so much pushback off of that one tweet. All they had to do was keep that to themselves, and they couldn't even do that. Like, when the game came out and people, play with the roster and be like, oh, this character wasn't in? Oh, it'll probably be DLC. But no, they were like, the roster's finished, guys. Are you guys excited to play Jump Force? And most of the community was not excited to play. Like, most people were not really that excited to play. Like, I can understand why, because I was one of those people, but then I was like, you know what? Let the game come out and we'll see if it's really good. And if it's really good, who cares about the roster? Like, those characters can be DLC. Let's just see how fun the game is as a game at release, Jump Force comes out, and it is one of the most unfinished games I've ever played in my life. It is one of the most unfinished AAA titles I've ever played in my life. What were they doing the whole time they were developing this game? And I'll answer that question. They literally worked on the roster and they worked on the story. Done. That's all they did. They worked on the roster on characters that people didn't even ask for, and then they worked on the story mode. Again, who asked for the story mode? Some people were asking for the story mode, but when I heard there was going to be a story mode and then there was going to be a character customization, I was skeptical, because if you know my history with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, another game with character customization and an alright story, but a repeated story of the same game, of the previous game, Xenoverse, then you'll understand why I was skeptical when I heard that there was character customization and a story mode in this game. I was like, oh, this is going to be the most forced story and probably unfinished recycled BS that, we get every single year with one of these character customization anime games. And sure enough, it was exactly what I said it was. Uninspired, unfinished. The animation was so stiff. I didn't even play the rest of the story after like the first cutscene that you're forced to watch. Alright? And that's another thing. Why are you forced to watch cutscenes? Who wants to watch these cutscenes that aren't even finished? Who in their right mind? Not me. What the heck? This was before the game came out. They were like, oh, character customization, and just for a little spice, you have the story to keep you occupied. Jump Force was supposed to be a game about its roster and about the gameplay. That's it. Why would you guys, you could have done a story mode with a single player game, and this is why, at this point, either you have multiplayer and no story, or you have single player and no multiplayer. Because at this point, games are starting to come out with multiplayer and single player and suck. Because the development team for the game cannot focus on one entity such as single player or multiplayer. They have to divide their time up evenly. And most of the time, this is going to result in the game just being unfinished. or one aspects are lacking, or unbalanced multiplayer, something like that. Some companies can't even balance the multiplayer if they're a multiplayer only game. Blizzard. But anyways, that's a video for another day. But like, honestly, the game is not finished in its current state. The game launches, you know, and the game is just not finished. The animations in the hub world. That's another thing. Why is there a hub world? Why? This is like Xenoverse 2, just with other jump characters from other universes. Why? Why would they do this? This is so uninspired, and it's just so lazy. They're just like, oh yeah, let's copy and paste Xenoverse 2 and not even do a good job at doing that right, you know? They're just like, oh yeah, you know, you guys want character customization? Here, you know? And then they don't even do that right. We get character customization, and it says boring and like, there's 3 fighting styles. The ninja fighting style, the martial arts Goku fighting style, and then the pirate Luffy fighting style. Why? With as many characters in this game, you could not have us have their fighting styles, any other fighting styles from any other shonen? Just those 3? That is literally what this game is. This game is the big 3, Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball, and that's it. Other than that, if you really wanted to play as your favorite Shonen Jump characters, then I just wait until your characters come out as DLC and there's a price drop, because this game really is not worth it at $60 right now. And the reason I'm going so hard on this game is because I care about this game so much. I really care about this game. I really want it to be good. It still has the potential to be as good as they hyped it up to be. But this leads to my other point. Bandai, or whoever takes the feedback and tells the developers to do what they want to do, the Bandai, the developers, whoever is in charge of this project, they do not listen to feedback. All of your feedback is in the YouTube comment sections. They're the replies to your tweet that you made, ratting out yourselves, basically saying your game is unfinished. There were rumors going around, and I bet you they were like, oh, we're probably gonna release maybe some more characters before release. And then they realized their game was a week out to release, and they were like, oh shoot, no, you know, Dio and Jotaro are the last characters, bye. You know, thanks for your money, everybody. For everyone that like pre-ordered the $100 edition, I'm sorry, but you guys, I know you guys really cared about the game. I did it for Fighters a year earlier, and I would just say this: do not pre-order a game anymore. Just don't. It's not worth it. Like, games nowadays, you don't know if the game's gonna be good or bad. So I just say save your money, wait till the game drops, and then just make your decision from there. Like, wait for the people who are YouTubers like myself to buy the game, you know, share our opinions on it, and then make your decision from there, because games nowadays are unfinished. They're all unfinished most of the time, unless the developer really cares about their game. Like, they're unfinished for the wrong reasons. The developer's just being lazy, greedy. It's just so dumb. They're just like, oh yeah, you know that roster we promised you guys? Guess what? Your 18 characters. 18 characters are going, like, from Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto again, are going to take up like a third of the roster. And this roster only has 40-something characters. 40 characters? From the same people that made Raging Blast, I believe? With like 100-some or 80-some characters at the base game? You got me all the way messed up, bruh. Stop. Just stop being lazy and greedy. Please, if you want this game to last, you need to put the work and effort in and listen to your feedback. Listen to the people that play your game all day long, like me, and add the characters and make the corrections that we need for this game to succeed. Is that too much to ask? And all they really care about is getting your money. All the people that pre-ordered the $100 edition or $110 edition, you pretty much just said to Bandai or you know, the developers, anyone who's making this game and looking at the sales and being like, oh, you know, we kind of failed here, we didn't succeed, you know, they just care about sales, you know. That sales do the most to a business. They could care less whether you're dissatisfied with the roster. You still bought the game. You still bought the game, and on top of that, you bought the season pass. The people that bought the $100 edition, you guys all bought the season pass too. And Season 1 DLC, I'm just gonna say I'm not hyped for Season 1. The only good character, and this is gonna be another video just in the roster, on the roster. DLC 1, why are we adding Bisky? Why are we adding Law from One Piece? And why are we adding Majin Buu? Madara should have already been in the game from Naruto. Like, oh my goodness. The big three, they're gonna have 7 characters now. Hunter's gonna get a Bisky? Why Bisky? What do you, like, she was the trainer, sure, but like, there's so many other and more important characters that you could have added. You could have added like Neferpito, you could have added Leorio, you could have added so many other, you could have added Kite, you could have added Jing, Gon's father, you could have added so many other people, right? And they're just like, nah, we need Bisky. And people are saying it's because they need more female reps. Well, that's not my problem. They should have added a lot more female characters like they said they were going to at release. And this is the thing, they say they're gonna do all this stuff and they just don't do it. They're like, oh, just stay tuned into what the game, you know, is about, you know? We're gonna give you that eventually. You just have to pay us $5, please. 9 characters, and the first DLC is releasing in May? The first character is releasing in May. If there's a 3-month gap between every single character, this game is going to die before next year. Because the gameplay, alright? The gameplay is just not really, it wasn't thought out. And they said that they were gonna go for more Flash. Well, see, the thing is, right? You can't even really do it. It's a game. At the end of the, like, oh my gosh. They should have had a core base, you know, balanced, stable, solid gameplay. And then they could have focused on Flash. That's it. But no, they focused on Flash mechanics and how good the game looks first before they focused on their gameplay. On balancing the gameplay. On balancing the characters. On making sure the hitboxes are right, on making sure that this game actually takes skill. The high-speed counter mechanic, why is that a thing? Why? Why is that the high dodge speed mechanic? Why is that a thing? Okay, maybe the high dodge mechanic should be in, the high-speed dodge mechanic, because you have to like press RB right before you're hit, and you know, that used to be a thing in Raging Blast. But even then, all you have to do is mash, it seems. Especially the high-speed counter mechanic. All you have to do is mash, you know, X or, you know, on PlayStation Square, and you'll get out of the combo. Why? The skill, they just want to make it so anyone can play their game, and that's not going to work. Yes, you're going to make it so anyone can play your game, but the casuals are going to leave and go to the other game, and the hardcore fans are going to stay and play the game. And if the game isn't balanced, if the game doesn't have the roster that you promised us, if the game is not finished, then the hardcore players are not going to stay either. Oh my goodness. Same thing that happened to Xenoverse, but even worse, because at least Xenoverse, the DLC, like, at least Xenoverse's DLC was okay, but like, oh my gosh, at least like, it seems that DLC, like, the developers that made Xenoverse listened to the feedback somewhat, but they were just a bit too lazy to do, like, to fix the networking issues. That's literally all that's wrong with Xenoverse now. I haven't played it in a really long time. I might go back to it now because of how bad, you know, of how much I do not want to play Jump Force right now until it is, unless it's for a combo video or rage video or friendly video, but until then, I will not be taking this game or playing it seriously. And with all that out of the way, it's time to offer up some solutions, because you cannot talk about problems unless you're ready to offer up some solutions. So, the Jump Force marketing. before the release. There's nothing you can do other than try and push your game more now, post-launch. Try and fix it, you know, add more characters that people want in the game. That is literally all they have to do, is just add a bunch of characters and just say, hey guys, you know, play Jump Force. We have a really big and diverse roster, and they can't even do that right. Like I said, a third of the characters are from Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto, and we're about to get 3 more characters from those series in the DLC. Who wants to pay for those 3 characters? I don't want to pay for those 3 characters. I'm sorry. I would like to have some new reps from other series, like Suna from Hitman Reborn, Hiei, you know, Gintoki, Medeka, Alan from D.Gray. There's so many other series that they just did not try, and just, oh my gosh, like, they really did not do their best with this game. They just got lazy, and if they get lazy, that's only because they prioritize the wrong things. Why would you add character customization? You can't have having character customization in a game where you want to have a really good roster. That is not good. You should either focus on the roster or focus on character customization, because one is going to cancel out the other. Why would I want to play as my CAC, as my created character, when I have roster characters to go to? But then people be like, oh, well, you're appealing to both demographics. I'm like, I don't care. If you focus on one thing, at least you're gonna make sure that one thing is really good. That's why the Dragon Ball games like Raging Blast, the Dragon Ball games that don't have character customization all over the place, like Fighters, that's why those games succeed. If you're going to have character customization, please make that the only aspect of your game so you can focus on one thing at a time. Focusing on 2 things at a time does not work with these developers. It probably won't even work with anybody. I'm not even gonna blame them. They're just prioritizing the wrong things. They want to slap a story on there or create a character customization on there in order to try and hype people up more to get more sales, like, immediately, instead of trying to do what they said they were gonna do, like when they revealed it at E3. Oh, the roster. Oh, you know, the gameplay. Oh my gosh, the graphics. Why? It just seems like character customization was tacked on. They didn't even have character customization when they announced the game. There was no character customization. And then months later, it seems like they just tacked it on as busy work. Oh, here's character customization if you guys want it, you know. That casual fan base, you guys have your character customization. There's nothing wrong with being a casual. But, like, this game, they shaped it up to be serious and, like, a really hardcore anime fighting, diverse roster crossover game. And then they just threw that completely out the window, and they're like, oh guys, guess what, you know, let's have a story where your character's mute, and let's create a character that's just completely awkward, and you already use the moves. Like, if you wanted to, oh my gosh, it's just so pointless. Why would you have, I'm probably gonna cut everything with me rambling out, but here are my solutions, alright? The roster fail. All you have to do, Bandai, whoever, you know, is the, you know, director for the game, all you have to do is literally listen to the feedback the fans are trying to give you. Go to the YouTube comments, go to your Twitter, read the replies. They probably do. It's just that they probably, it's just that, you know, if worst comes to worst, they just don't care. They're just like, oh, whatever. We could just add any characters and they'll buy the character. Like, and as a fan base, if we want to change things around here, we cannot support this first, like, they're like, oh, support the DLC, and we'll get more DLC. And I'm like, okay, but we're gonna get way more worse DLC, because they, you know, we have to let them know that they messed up here. You can't just be like, oh no, we have to support them, because if we don't support them, then we won't get more characters. Most likely, we will probably be getting more characters. If we do not support the, like, if we don't support the DLC as much, like, don't buy the characters that you don't want to buy. If you want to buy the characters, like the My Hero characters, Kaiba, those are the characters that I'm hyped for. And then some Bleach characters, sure, go for it. Buy those characters. But I'm not going to buy the 3 Dragon Ball characters, Bisky. I think that's it. I'm not going to buy those characters. They're completely useless. I'm going to buy All Might, I'm going to buy All Might, Kaiba, Bakugo, Grimmjow, and probably Toshiro from Bleach, because I'm gonna keep watching Bleach. Other than that, no. And these are people, the people I'm saying I would buy should have already been in the game. All Might and Bakugo should have already been in the game. Bakugo's the antagonist. Kaiba should have already been in the game. Why was Yugi released on his own? He should have had an antagonist to be released with, so, you know, builds hype. These people should have already been in the game, it feels like. So it's kind of pointless, just, like, buying these characters. But you're gonna have to buy these characters if you want to enjoy and play as them, which sucks. Buy the characters you want to buy. Other than that, I'm not gonna say you should support this DLC if you really don't. If you really don't have a character you would like to play, like you would, like, die to play as, don't support the DLC. We need to know that we did not want any of these characters like Law, or I just didn't want any more One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto characters again. I'm not biased completely. Like, I'm a Dragon Ball fan, right? But when Dragon Ball when Dragon Ball has 7 characters in a Jump game that's supposed to have a diverse roster, that's where I have a problem. That's just ridiculous. Listen to your feedback. Alright, polish the game, and that's pretty much it. How do you polish this game? Listen to feedback! That's literally the key thing you have to do now, Bandai, or whoever is, you know, the, again, director of the game. Bandai, all you have to do is listen to your feedback of your fans that play this game all day and run into these problems. All you have to do is listen to our feedback. It seems like they put out a survey. That's another thing. They put out a survey talking about, they asked questions. They were like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. What would you like in the game? Well, and I was like, I did the survey. I said that, oh, I want Suna in the game. And I wish, and like, you know, things that you guys should, you know, change. The battle timer. The game needs to be more optimized for console and PC. The game needs to be optimized. The game needs to be finished. There should be way more characters and a more diverse roster. Finally, last but not least, you guys, they did a survey and everything. So I'm having a hard time processing how they just don't take the feedback that we give them and, you know, apply it to the game. And even when it seems that it takes them such a long time to do so. So since there's going to be 3 months between the release of, you know, the DLC, or it seems 2 months now, but since it's going to be, you know, a long time until we get the first DLC, what they should be doing in this time is listening to feedback, you know, adding the stuff in the game that we want them to add. They should completely focus on gameplay and customization for your character. That's it. But they're probably not doing that. They're probably just focusing on developing the characters for DLC Season 1, which is ridiculous. Half of those characters should not even be on there. Literally, those 4 slots, they're taken up by Bisky. Again, why Bisky? They're taken up by Bisky, Boo, Madara. Madara should have already been in the game, so I'm not, like, extremely mad about him being in. But those at least you should have, like, Bisky, Law, and there's too many One Piece characters. Bisky, Law, and Boo, those 3 should not be in the DLC. Suna, Hiei, and Gintoki should have taken at least that 3. At least! Now Bleach has 6 reps, you know? Why? I don't... They just add characters that people never even asked for or wanted in the game in the first place, and it rubs me the wrong way. They added they added Bakugo, All Might, you know, Kaiba, people that should have already been in the game, you know, but instead they add, you know, just 3 big 3 characters, so now they have 7 and they take up more than a quarter of the roster now, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's exhausting just thinking about how much this game fell short from what it promised. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the rant, you know, my thoughts, my take on this game's lifespan. as it is right now. I will be uploading another video soon about me raging at this game and its gameplay issues, from me just trying to record footage for this video mostly. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.